Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And we are here to talk about yet another Carolina Panthers loss. The Panthers fall on their last primetime game of the year, 24-16 to the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. Lots of thoughts about this game, lots of feelings that came out of this game. For me personally, I actually kind of liked how this game turned out. I've got some positive feelings after this game.
I personally am glad we lost. At this point, I want a top 5 pick to either trade back or get a possible franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. If we win the next couple games, I'm going to be kind of upset, honestly, at this point.
Yeah. The games mean nothing to the Panthers now in terms of the playoffs or and long term, it's better for the Panthers to lose out and secure a top 5 pick. You're absolutely right.
With that being said, there's also positives to take out of this game.
I mean, think there's a ton of positives. I can't think of any negatives, honestly.
Oh, I could think of a few negatives. I'll get into those.
Well, let's start off with our 3 key plays of the game.
Oh, okay. The first one, we're going to go ahead. Packers' first series, 3rd and 1 from Green Bay's 28. We could stop them here, get them out, off the ball, get the ball back, and try to drive. Nope, Aaron Jones runs right up the middle for 46 yards, all the way down to the Panthers' 26-yard line. That was a killer, because at that time you were kind of feeling good. You're like, all right, and even if they got a 3rd and 1 and got 2 yards, it would have been better than that 46 straight up the middle. Just killed you.
Yeah, that was a backbreaker. I guess if I am thinking of negatives from this game, the first half, just in general, was a huge negative. The Packers ran all over the Panthers, and that Aaron Jones run was just the tip of the iceberg, honestly.
Absolutely. Now, moving on to our second key play of the game. Panthers down 14-3, have a nice drive, running the ball well, had the ball on the Packers 1, 1st and goal. Teddy Bridgewater tried to jump over the line, attempts to reach his hand out, and one of the Packers defenders knocks it out of his hand. Packers recover, take it back to the Panthers 47. Wow. That was...
As soon as Teddy started his run, I was like, please just let him get stopped, because it just looked like a play that was blown up. I'm like, please just let him get stopped. Don't let anything else happen. And then he reaches for it, which Matt Rule said after the game. I have told the players in the preseason, I've reiterated it throughout the season, don't reach across the goal line unless it's 4th down, to everybody, not just Teddy. And Teddy did it. He tried his best Cam Newton impression, and not strong enough, I guess.
Those 2 gloves weren't sticky enough to hold on to the ball.
You would think with the gloves, it would have been a little easier for him.
I'm honestly shocked that doesn't happen more often, that those don't get knocked out.
I don't know that it happens. Yeah, I don't know. When Cam, we used to see it a lot with Cam, of course, because Cam, just has that vice-like grip and was able to do it. But I don't know, Teddy, just not that same guy, I guess.
No, and honestly, 1st and goal, I wasn't the biggest fan of that type of play call there, but
yeah, and it was a called QB sneak. Teddy didn't just audible to that or anything. So that was the play. Just was extremely poorly executed.
Offensive line and by him.
Yep.
All right, our third key play of the game, 4th quarter with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. 1st and 10 on the Packers 15. The Panthers kick a field goal. Make it.
Yeah, they're down 11 points at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So you need 2 scores, and Matt Rule elects to go ahead and take the 3 points now and kick off. And this is kind of controversial, it seems like. I saw a lot of people questioning that call.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah, you're one of them. Go ahead and tell me why you think it was a bad call.
Because you kick the field goal, you're still down 8. If you score the touchdown and you don't make the 2-point conversion, you're in trouble again. You're just automatically losing. You're on the 15-yard line. Joey Sly has a big leg. At least you could try a longer field goal, but instead you're going to have to drive the length of the field and you score another touchdown. So I think you at least take a couple quick shots to the end zone. I understand the one timeout and the 2-minute warning.
I think that's the key. I think that's the whole reason why this was a good call, is because you have one timeout. If you go for even one shot to the end zone, you're at the 2-minute warning. Mm-hmm. So you're losing that 2-minute warning stoppage time. If you score even if you score the touchdown at that point, you are forced to do an onside kick because there's not enough time left. Right. I mean, even if you kicked off and got to stop and used your timeout, you're looking at what, 30 seconds left, I guess.
And here's my other contradictory. You're facing Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Jones has been running all up and down the field. So at that point, yes, it was in the fourth quarter where they started to slow them down and everything.
No, the whole second half they were slowing them down. The whole second half, the Panthers played really good defense.
They did, but I still think that Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, that's the number one offense in the league. So I don't know if I feel comfortable giving our defense, who has not been playing well all season. Yes, they were playing decent in this game towards the second half. That chance. And then if you score the touchdown, you can find out if you need a field goal or if you need another touchdown.
Mm-hmm. But you're still behind the 8 ball in time.
Either way,
at that point.
I mean, it's those work, bad time management timeouts that we take.
But yes, that's true. There's no reason we should have only had one timeout left at that point. But it did work. The Panthers kicked off and they were able to get a stop, and they had the ball with plenty of time left to go down and score. And just again, Teddy couldn't get it done.
Absolutely.
In the fourth quarter. But I like the call.
I did. I think you go. I
understand it. I think either way, it's an extremely long shot to win.
Yes.
But to me, the way the defense was playing, let me ask you this: if the defense and the way they played in the second half had been playing that way all season long,
mm-hmm, then it would be a slightly different. I probably would have felt a little bit different, but at the same time,
Matt Rule just had extreme confidence in the defense at this point and felt like that was the best way to try to win the game. And I agree. I think the chances of getting an onside kick are so low right now, with the way that
they really need to fix that.
Yeah. It's so low that you almost, the odds favor you just getting a stop, getting a 3 and out versus even against Aaron Rodgers in them. And instead of getting an onside kick, it's just so low percentage.
It's a low percentage of us having a 2-minute drive that actually goes anywhere anyway. So, I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's another thing is like, does it really matter? I guess, no. Because it was going to be extremely difficult to win either way. But I just don't think it's an obvious, what the hell was he thinking type call. I think the way he did it worked perfectly. And if the Panthers would have been able to get down there and score again, then I think he'd be heralded as making a really good call there.
But here's the question: if we would have driven the length of the field, got that touchdown, and then failed on 2-point conversion, then what do we do? I mean, we're gonna have to onside kick it again and get the ball.
But then
I understand what he did, and it's not a negative. I'm not really knocking it at all. I mean, it was, you're playing with a switchblade knife at this point. You're probably gonna get stuck no matter what.
Yeah, I like it that it was not the obvious call to make. Like, I think the obvious call to make is to go for it and try to score. And this was a little different, and he tried something new.
Yeah.
And clock management wise, I think it was the right call. Maybe, if you go for it and you do score the touchdown, you get the onside kick. Obviously, that's the better way to go, right? But you have to get the onside kick. So either way, I'm glad Joey made the field goal, because if he missed it, then the whole thing blows up and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Joey had a decent night last night. I mean,
I could tell from you can always tell from his first kick. That first kick was right down the middle, and I was like, all right, he's not going to miss tonight. And he didn't. If that first kick is a little wobbly and like really close to the upright, he's going to miss at least one. You can always tell with him. But either way, so that's our 3 key plays. I just want to start off by saying I was really impressed with the second half of this game from the Panthers.
I agree. I've knocked Phil Snow left and right on this show. He after those first 3 drives that they gave up touchdowns, I don't know what he did on defense. I don't know if he gave him a rally speech, but that defense looked night and day different. They
was
were
completely different.
Getting to Aaron Rodgers, making him I mean, Aaron Rodgers threw for under 150 yards today or last night. That's great.
It's incredible. And, they came into the season with, what was it, 13 sacks given up, I think. And the Panthers had 5 last night.
Yeah.
And I think they were all in the second half. So I was worried watching that first half. And I tweeted it out. And it basically was like, I hope that the Panthers haven't given up on their coach. Because in the first half, it looked like it.
That first quarter or first half, I literally thought they did. I was like, wow, is Matt Rule not that guy? Because Ron Rivera's team never gave up on him.
Yeah. I was worried, man. I was like, this is ugly. Don't look like they're getting any effort. Are you frozen? Okay, you're back. They don't look like they're giving effort. And I was super worried. But then they came out in that second half and, again, looked like a completely different team, defensively especially. And then offensively as well. They were putting drives together, moving the ball, taking long drives. And I was extremely happy that they came out and played hard for their coach in the second half.
I am too.
Extremely happy.
The offense, honestly, there was only one bright spot on offense that I really saw. DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of, Curtis Samuel, you had 9 targets, 4 catches, and a couple of those were your drops.
Yeah, he had a rough night.
That one long pass in the fourth quarter last drive, it looked like he just took a bad angle on the pass. At first, I thought it was pass interference, but I don't think it really should have been called.
If it was
very ticky-tacky and shouldn't have been called. So,
yeah, great night for DJ Moore. Offense overall struggled, of course. You only score 16 points. That's tough. So you have the snap counts. What was Tahir Whitehead's? Did he play at all? He didn't show up on the stat sheet.
0.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, I saw Dante Jackson make a couple of good plays. Let's be honest, our corners had a good game. They were able to keep Devontae Adams to 42 yards, I think, which is, I think, his low of the season.
And Alan Lazard to 56 with 5 catches.
He led the team.
I do want to give a shout out to Miles Hartsfield. He had a couple big plays, really great deep down the field, had great coverage.
Yep.
And there was another one shortly after that. He had another really spectacular play of stopping and running her. Yeah. So
yeah, I think it was either a screen pass or something right there. Yeah. I tweeted out Hartsfield greater than Pride. And he definitely played like it.
We'll find
Wonder
out
how the game would have turned out if Teddy wouldn't have fumbled at the goal line.
I don't know.
Could have been different.
It could have been a lot closer. Because even though they lost by 8 points, I mean, you felt like this game really didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as coming in, everybody I saw, and you and I on our preview podcast, we all basically said the Panthers were going to lose this game.
Yeah,
and they did. They did beat the spread. The spread was 8.5, and they lost by 8. So I don't remember. I think that's what you said, right? You thought it was going to be a 1-score game. So yeah, and again, just to reiterate, I love the fire the Panthers came out with in the second half. Even though this is a loss, it doesn't feel like a loss to me in the long-term scheme of things. Feels like a win. And I hope to see the Panthers play well and lose in the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely. And we're going to quickly go over our heroes and zeros of the game. Let's go ahead and start off with zeros this time. Steven, why don't you start it off?
Oh, man. You threw me for a loop here, Jerry.
I want to end on a positive. I mean, that's
a good idea. I guess I'll go with Bridgewater here. Even though he wasn't technically a 0, he did have that huge fumble that, you don't want to say it cost us the game, but had that turned out differently, it could have changed the way this game was played. I just didn't think he was particularly effective, and I don't really know of anybody else that I'd put the 0 on, so I'm going with him.
I am actually going to agree with you.
Yeah,
I already had it in my head. Teddy Bridgewater, that fumble, he fumbled again, but didn't end up costing us because of a holding call. And when 55 seconds left and he gets the ball fourth quarter, I know he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
they're 2-8 in one score games, and he's had the ball with a chance to win. I think about 8 times.
Almost all of them, yeah.
And he doesn't do it. 0. I'm sorry, you're not.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you have no confidence in that.
Not at all. Yeah. And it may be Joe Brady's play calling mixed with his love of dumping off on 2 yards, but he's a 0 because of that. I just knew he was going to mess that up, and he did.
Yeah. And by the way, if I don't need to hear any more about Teddy Bridgewater's completion percentage from the commentators anymore this season. I don't care about it. I don't care if he completes 80% of his passes the rest of the way. Doesn't matter. He's losing the games.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go to some fun heroes. I'll go ahead and start off with my hero, Derek Brown. Yeah, 2 sacks, man. Your first sack of the game or of your career, and then 2, you were in that backfield. You made Aaron Rodgers little happy feet. Good job, man. And good job.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for him to have a game stat-wise that's broke out because he's been playing really well. Mm-hmm. But this is the first stat game that he played really well.
I 100% agree, and that's who I was going to go with. Luckily, there are plenty of options to go with in this game, which is it's so funny. Like, Panthers lost by 8 points and were totally outclassed in the first half, and yet again, I feel good about it. I feel you could go DJ Moore here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Brian Burns just because he made the huge play towards the end of the game that gave the Panthers another opportunity to come down and score. He looked like he got a little banged up on that play, but after the game, it seemed like he was okay.
Yeah, he said he tweaked his knee and that he was okay. He actually did the little presser afterwards. Mm-hmm. And what I read is usually if you have a serious injury, they don't let you do the presser.
Yeah.
And all he said is, I just tweaked my knee a little bit and it'll be fine next week. So
yeah, hopefully he's okay. But yeah, he is just, as usual, just looked like certainly the best pass rusher that the Panthers have, and maybe the best defensive player overall. So, I'm going to give it to Brian Burns. Usually you give it to Brian Burns. I'm glad I get an opportunity this time.
Yeah. I really hope he gets double-digit sacks by the end of the season. He's at 8.
What is he at? 8 now? Yeah. So he should get there. There's 2 games left, and he's getting.
And if Dwayne Haskins plays next week, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, you should be able to get to 10 in that game alone.
We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like our show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on our show. Also, if you have any bets that we could do, since we're doing this all virtual now, like me, unfortunately, talking in a Wisconsin accent next episode, let us know.
Yeah, maybe Jerry can shave his beard or something.
Whoa.
We'll be back I think we're going to be back on Wednesday this week because of the holiday and everything. So we're going to do a little early this week. And the Panthers, of course, play Sunday. So we'll be back on Wednesday to talk about Panthers, Washington. That should be an interesting game to talk about. So until then, everybody stay safe out there. Have a happy Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and we'll talk to you later. Keep pounding.